YouTube. And there we are, broadcasting live on YouTube. Hello, everybody. You're here with Rev Wayne Stills and Rev Lynn Johnson, and we are here to study and talk about, um, now the impersonal life. But the impersonal life we're done with reading that, and we're starting the next book by Joseph Benner. So, hey, Wayne, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good, hanging in there. Yeah, this book, I believe is considerably shorter. I was just looking at it. Unless I have a different book, I already finished it.
Very good.
Yeah, so I mean, I wanted to kind of get a feel for it. I skimmed it basically, but I want to get a feel for it. And I was like, whoa, this is shorter than I thought. So I think we get through pretty quickly.
Well, good.
Yeah, and then we moved. He had 6 books, I think, or 7 books altogether.
Wow.
So we have more cut out for us.
All right.
What's that?
Well, oh, that's my phone. I turned the ringer
Oh,
on,
nice.
so it's usually I have the ringer off. So, but
Yeah, but I'm gonna play. I'm gonna play today's lesson 174, and then it was take 30 seconds or so, a minute at most, probably, about
all
a minute,
right.
minute and a half, I think. It's just
Well, do you have do they have the instructions for the review, or it doesn't really matter? I just think people don't.
well, usually what I do is I go back and I play the I go back and I read the lesson.
The lesson. Yeah. Oh, okay.
But,
Oh,
but,
cool.
but it take a long time to do this. So I figured I'd just do that. I would just do the review.
Okay, sounds good to
But
me.
otherwise, I mean, if I had a whole hour, then I would do that. That's what I would do.
Okay.
Yeah, but we'll never get done the whole thing. We'll never get we won't get the banner.
It'll be long. Yeah. So yeah, go ahead then.
So I was impressed. Just hit that just fun. All right, there's miracles everywhere, everyone. God bless everyone. I hope you're having a great time today. I hope everything's going well. There's miracles everywhere. Miracles are everywhere. Just change your mind, and it's a miracle. For the better. For you and Christ. I'm gonna play the today's lesson. It's very short, so just listen. And if you get something, you get something. If you don't, you don't. And never grind away. Always just listen. If you're listening, just listen. And whatever you get, you get. If you're reading, you read it once, twice. If you understand it, just keep going. The book repeats itself. It's like a song.
Lesson 174. God is but love, and therefore so am I. 157. Into his presence would I enter now. God is but love, and therefore so am I. 158. Today I learn to give as I receive. God is but love, and therefore so am I.
All right. That's the lesson. That's the review. Now, if you're doing that at home or doing it on the air, you would want to go back to the lessons that we reviewed and take a look at it. From a slightly different point of view, perhaps. Perhaps the point of view of Jesus' review. And give it a look see.
Absolutely. So thank you, Wayne, for playing that.
Sure.
And yeah, I mean, there's, the point being that, if you go through the day and you're saying throughout the day, God is but love, and therefore so am I, and then repeating the subjects of the lesson, and see how does this connect to my life? How does this connect to my experience? And really, you become more aware of the meaning of the lesson. You
Yeah.
know why it is the way it is, and what it is. You know how it works in your life. So, so what are the two lessons that go with this one today? Into his presence would I enter now, and today I learn to give as I receive. So, yeah,
Yeah, and then those are two very on their own, without anything else attached to it. On their own, you go far with it.
exactly.
You just there, man, just say it over and over again. It's in sort of mindful sort of way, and just really get far with it. You can drop it down into your system, into your stomach, into your heart, and just say it. That's it. You know, into His presence, will I enter now. Into His presence will I enter now. Into His presence will I enter now. Into His presence will I enter now. I mean, I'm God is but love, therefore so am I. You know. So
Yeah,
when I was a kid younger, I used to always when I went to bed, I used to say, "God is love, so I am love," and then they repeat it. And God is fun, so I am fun. They repeat it. God is joy, so I am joy. God is joy, so I am joy. God is peace, so I am peace. God is peace, so I am peace. God is playfulness, so I am playfulness. God is anywhere I can think of that was good. God is fun, so I am fun. God is
yeah,
adventurous, so I am adventurous. God is bold, so I am bold. And it makes sense to them. If you ask them why, God is everywhere, so His boldness is everywhere.
excuse me. I'm trying to get to my regular screen here. And the heck? Go ahead and
I was just saying, God is but love, and the so I is any other word you want to put there. God is but power, so am I. God,
exactly.
God is but God is but adventure, so am I. God is but accomplishment, so am I. God is but goodness, so am I. Because God is everywhere. God is right, as I said yesterday or the other day. God's right where you are is where God is. He won't be anywhere else. He's like a mathematical law. One plus one is two. That's what the law is, right there. You don't have to go somewhere to find out it's not like you're on 34th Street and one plus one is not two over there. You go to 45th Street to make one plus one two.
Exactly.
Wherever you go, one plus one is two. It follows you around. It's always with you. It surrounds you. It's inside of you. One plus one is two. That's it. And now God is even closer to you. When you say I, that's God. I. And so,
So interesting. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it is what am I? It is what I am. That's what we're getting ready to read, I believe,
yeah.
in the Impersonal Life. I finally got my screen back.
Oh, good. I'm ready. I'm ready.
It's driving me crazy. All right. So here we go. And to the share. All right. Yes, this is what I told you to do. Just taking a moment. Hello. There we go. Yay. All right. So we are reading The Impersonal Life by Joseph Benner. And it's 5 books. So we've just finished the first one, The Impersonal Life, and we're going to start book 2, The Way Out. And
My kind of size already is my best big. I like it.
did you say, is that big enough?
I think it's nice and big. I like it.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. I don't know how that happened, but I'm
I
not
like
gonna
it. I like
not
it.
gonna complain.
No, at all.
All right.
You ready? You want to read?
Sure, I'll read.
Start it out.
All right. Book 2, The Way Out. The Way Out was originally published with The Way Beyond. Okay, so we know that many with finances are often a problem. We know that with many, finances are often a problem. All followers of Jesus Christ should learn the law, which, if obeyed, will enable them to rise out of all conditions of lack, limitation, inharmony, disease, and unhappiness that may manifest. You ask if this is really possible and if there is a law which, if obeyed, will enable us to accomplish all that. We say emphatically there is such a law, and that you can be free from the fear and dominance of money, that you can have an abundance of all good things that can bring that can be well that you can be well and happy, and can bring about an adjustment into perfect harmony to all departments of your life, if you want these things enough to train yourself to obey this law. You say that you would do anything to obtain such wonderful blessings, if it is humanly possible. It is not only possible, but everyone who is filled with such a desire can do it. For know a great truth, that you are permitted to be in such unhappy conditions by your higher self, solely in order that you may seek and gain the knowledge, the power, and the ability to control them, in order to free yourself forever from them, and to assume your true place in life, and therefore receive the heritage of good that is here for you. Whenever you become wise and strong enough to claim it and use it for the good of others and not for selfish ends. First, know that it is all a matter of consciousness, and that you yourself alone are to blame for these conditions, for you alone created them and are firmly holding them in your consciousness, or they would not be so plainly manifesting. All this we are taught in these great words. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. We know that you have heard this stated perhaps many times before, and so often that it may have become an old story. Some of you have tried to prove it and rid your consciousness of all your negative thoughts, but because it took determined and persistent effort, you soon grew tired on account of the strong opposition met with, and then you dropped back into the current of the old conditions, and if anything became more helpless, than you were before.
It's funny. Part of the thing, it's not obviously there's not a set of beliefs or ideas that you have to believe. Anything that works is a positive thought. Anything that moves you more towards a miracle is a positive thought. And so it could be anything, really, the thought, the idea. When you block out, might not even look like a positive thought. It look negative. But you know, if you know your mind, you know your thoughts, you know where you're going, and you know that, all right, this is gonna look bad. I'm going into battle right now. This is gonna look very messy. But that's all right. I know I have to do this.
Yes.
I can get through the door and go on the other side of that door. I have to unlock I'm held locked from the inside. So I have to get through the monster at the door. And I have to do it, but it's gonna look bad, it's not gonna look great. Positive thinking doesn't always it's another big smile. Like Die Hard. Remember Die Hard?
Oh yeah.
He wasn't always smiling.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Let's see. Hang on a second. I'm just turning something off so my phone doesn't start ringing or whatever when people send me messages there. So yeah, and what really he's talking about here, man, I have done this myself. I do it all the time, because I work really hard to try to remember all the time who I am, what I am, and what I'm about. But there's a lot of times fact, I find it more often actually, probably because I'm noticing it now, that I go into like fear and despair, and especially like when it comes time for things about my kids, or life situation I can't do anything about, and I start thinking, like negative thoughts.
Yeah. The hopelessness, when the hopelessness kicks in.
Yeah, that hopelessness comes up. and
Yeah.
and so yeah, so but you do have to, you're right. I mean, it's because, and something he said on the page before here, um let's see, I think, uh somewhere or the other, he says basically, the only reason that I don't put the kind of effort that I need to into it is because I don't think I'm worth it. Yeah, yeah. It took determined and persistent effort. I soon grew tired because I don't think I'm worth all that hard work, and I don't see, what's going to happen, because of it. And so, even though I know it would make me, what does he say, indescribably happy,
Yeah.
it's too hard. It's a hard
Yeah.
work.
Yeah, it's funny. That he says right there, what you just read, it says, but because it's a determined and persistent effort, you soon grew tired on account of the strong opposition met with, and you then drops back into the current and old conditions, and if anything, become more helpless than you were before. That was basically the little paragraph. He summed up what he said much more poetically, more how you find gurus and they disappoint you and they come to me. You remember the whole thing in the rest of life. It's the exact same thing.
Yeah,
It's what he's been saying. So when you're out there, if you come to me and when you do things over and over again, it gets old. It becomes old news.
yep,
And if you see, oh, I want to do it, 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 then you bail, which is what he's saying. He said, and then you're going to be worse off
exactly. Yeah,
than you were before because now you have that because this thing it's something about it. It's like now a high back,
right.
it's
That's
like, it's like we're coming back to rehab.
Yeah, yeah. I tried, but I didn't make it. No.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah, yeah. And am I really worth it? And I mean, honestly, uh, if I think about it, all the work that I've done my whole life, and you too, all the work that we've done our whole life, it just seems ridiculous to think that we will fail. And Jesus is real clear in the course. You will not fail. It's impossible. So every little step you take forward, I'm there with you. So
Yeah,
uh,
he gets you back.
that's right.
He gets you back. He's my defense attorney.
Yeah, yeah.
He's not even, he doesn't even care what you did. He
No,
cares. He wants to know so he can defend you, but he doesn't look at it to judge you.
right.
He's not like, oh, I can't believe you did that. He says, what'd you do? Okay, this is how we're gonna get you off.
Yeah, he has a firm belief in our innocence.
Right, exactly. And it's his job. That's what he does.
Yeah,
And he knows it. He knows it's true, and that's what he does. And then the ego is the prosecutor. There's a firm belief in our guilt. And the father is the judge. And the father always agrees with Jesus.
yes,
He said, the ego is just very loud. It says, I want, I want, I want.
that's right. That's right.
You let him yell. Let him yell. Let him yell. All right. Should I read a little?
Yeah, sure.
Where are
Uh,
you?
Started. Others may have heard. Right
Others
here.
may have heard saying, but does not impress them. For they cannot accept the assertion that any of the inharmonies in their lives are the result of their own beliefs, of their past thinking crystallized into beliefs. They preferred to blame it all on somebody else. And even God came in for a share of the blame. And it's kind of tough to realize that you're it's the key to salvation, though, according to the Course.
Yeah.
You're the person, you're the, it's all a dream that you create from everything looking crazy of your situation, you created. Yeah. Not just, not just a little bit of it. And the fact that you find cracks in the theory. Well, what about the other person? Doesn't he have his own dream? You just focus on yourself. I mean, everybody has their own thing going.
Right. Well, and
And
the thing is, with that, Wayne, nobody knows what anybody else's thing is.
exactly.
We
Yeah,
just are
exactly.
imagining it ourselves.
And then that's what separation is.
Yeah.
And we're separate from everyone else. I'm alone. Essentially, I'm alone. I'm alone. Essentially, I'm alone. You're alone. And you're alone. I'm talking to myself. Saying you're alone.
Yeah.
That's what alone means. You're in my dream, and I'm in your dream. How do you live? Like I said, Lynn, I'm in your dream right now. I'm a voice in your dream. And if you laugh for it, it'll be true.
Yeah. Because it's true.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Because where am I hearing your voice?
Yeah, in your dream.
Yeah. I'm hearing your voice in my head,
Exactly,
my dream.
exactly.
I'm not hearing your voice anyplace else.
Exactly, your mind. Exactly. And it's the same back the other way around.
Yeah.
You see me, you hear me. You're in my dream.
That's right.
But never the two twine meet. You know what I
They're
mean?
not the same dream.
Yeah, but they're similar enough where we hang out.
Yeah. They coincide.
Yeah, it's kind of we wave at each other. Hey.
Yeah. How funny that is. That's hilarious when you think about it.
Yeah, but it's similar. We're very similar to. I remember there was a bug when we were outside the porch, and I said, I can't feel bad for these bugs. They're just too unlike me. I can't relate to them. That's the thing about bugs. I feel bad when I kill them and stuff, but then I can't get. I get over. I can't obsess on it. Because they're bugs.
Yeah. But you know what? That's the difference is then of course you'll be, I don't know if you ever watch any like I follow people on my TikTok and whatever that have these little pet spiders.
Oh yeah.
This little pet spider is so cute, and they make a little voice. I mean, they talk for him, do like a little. So the spider's walking around and looking at you and doing things, and they're talking like it's a person doing stuff. And you look at that thing, and that's pretty cute. That is like a little, it is like a
Oh
little
yeah.
can't be.
Absolutely.
Or I saw one today.
Right.
My daughter sent me this thing. It was uh, uh, what's his name, the scientist. Anyway, he was with Joe Rogan, and he was saying, "Look at this," and he shows him a, a video of a bear, like a big old bear, wild out there in the woods, and there's a traffic cone on the highway that's been knocked over,
Mm-hmm.
and the bear goes over to the traffic cone and sits it up,
Oh,
puts it back in place, and walks away. And he's like, he must have understood that that thing was supposed to stand. How does a bear know this stuff?
I had no idea. But maybe it was a guy dressed up in a bear outfit.
No, it was definitely a bear. It was definitely a bear.
Right.
But it just makes you think, well, they are sentient beings. We're all every living thing
Oh, I agree.
has the mind of God.
I agree. I agree. Really. But my point was that certain people that are so unlike you,
Yes,
we are so similar that we're hanging out.
right,
Certain people that are so different that certain that life they're so different that they're bugs.
right. Yeah,
Certain life forms so different that they're rocks.
right. They're not human.
The rocks they can't even move. Maybe there are people who are working on obedience.
Right.
How about a rock for this billion years? So yeah, who knows? But who knows why what happens. But this is what this is what it is. This is what's going on.
Yeah, you make me think of that movie Everything Everywhere All at Once. Have you seen
I
that?
haven't seen that. I should.
Then I won't tell you about The Rock then. Yeah, you got to watch that movie though.
Everything everywhere all at once.
Everything Everywhere at Once. Yes.
Everything everywhere all at once.
Oh, you need to watch that movie.
Is it a comedy?
No,
Oh,
it is not a comedy. It is not a drama. It's like interdimensional action. Uh,
oh, one of those.
it's interdimensional, and it's like it'll blow you away. It's like
The interdimensional session.
yeah, it's timeline, interdimensional, intertimeline. Um, uh, yeah, you got to watch that movie.
Oh, I will.
Yeah, yeah. Don't forget,
I will.
and then you'll know
I'll watch it right now. Yeah.
Okay, watch it right now.
Yeah.
The Rock. You'll when you see the rocks, you'll see that's exactly what we're talking about. All right, so you want to continue reading?
Sure. The main trouble with almost everyone is that they don't realize how many negative and destructive beliefs they are carrying around with them in the subconscious realms of mind, and which creeps through into the conscious mind, whenever it is free from interest in other things. Until you begin to study your mind and watch for and note those negative beliefs when they come, and you will find that they are actually beliefs, and refuse them further support, there's that much hope for you. In fact, the first thing you must learn to do, in fact, is the first thing you must learn to do. Those who are too mentally lazy to do such watching and controlling of their thoughts are usually the ones who will not accept that their own thinking and beliefs create them all of the conditions not manifesting in their lives. So basically, people who think this is not true just are too lazy to try it.
Right. Yeah.
And also they affirm it by saying, I don't believe it's true, so it's not going to be true for you.
That's right.
They can't get out of it.
Exactly. And that's what this next page is going to tell you.
Oh, really? Oh. It's like an axiom, and you're trapped in it.
Exactly.
But it makes no difference whether you accept it as being true or not. It is the law. The law. Number one, the law. Now, if you are ready to hear the law, we'll say it in words that everyone can understand. Note these words and let them impress themselves on you. But from this moment on, ever afterward, they will live in your mind as guidance or influence, guiding influence. I hear the words. Ready? Whatever you think and hold in consciousness as being so, out manifests itself in your body or affairs. That's it.
That's it.
And it's true.
That's true.
Your inner life, you project it outwards.
That's right. That's right. And it's up to us to determine what that is. But we got to be conscious to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you're not conscious.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because the thing about it is it's not as if you're not creating it anyway. You're still making realities up. But if you're not conscious of it, you're making realities up. Some realities are good, some are bad, up and down, left and right. And all that up and down is also to be fun. Just like my daughter said, I don't mind the planes when they up and down. I wouldn't mind it if I was scared that it was going to crash. Oh, that's an interesting way of looking at it. She said, although it would be funny up and down in that plane, like, having to go down and up and down, a little shaky in the air. She says, I heard it before, but that's what she says.
That's funny.
Yeah, so people, people have a good time with that.
Like going to
strange
amusement
things.
park or something, riding the roller coaster or something.
Yeah, exactly. So what do you think? How it manifests itself in your body or affairs, and your body or affairs too? People don't think about their body too much; they think about their affairs more often.
Yeah.
It manifests in your body or affairs.
But if you recognize that it was manifesting in our body, and I just heard a talk the other day from Michael Singer, and he was talking about, it doesn't even make sense that you have a body that has a perfectly healthy system for getting rid of whatever ailments come up. called the immune system. And the immune system, you know, it works most of the time, and it works really well most of the time.
Mm.
So, you know, what happens when it goes wrong? Because if the immune system, if the immune system is working correctly, you
And then
would
it
not,
stops.
you would not get old, you would not die,
Yeah.
you would not, I mean, everything
It
would
just
be,
yeah, they just stops for some reason. No one knows why it stopped. Really,
yeah,
it
yeah,
just stops working.
right. So, you know, here he's saying, whatever you think and hold in consciousness as being so, out manifests itself in your body or affairs. So I have like a lot of immune disorder,
Right.
and I see that immune disorder being a disorder that's being manifested from my consciousness. Now, that doesn't mean that I blame myself for having, you know, all this stuff going wrong, because this is something that, uh, first off, I had no consciousness of whatsoever for the most part of my life. Was not something that was made clear to me upon coming to this planet, that, you know, you're you're gonna, you know, have this body, you need to do something with it, and you need to keep your mind and consciousness clear so that it will stay healthy forever. But, you know, nobody told me that, I mean, until just now. uh, I mean,
We got to spread. He made us. We didn't make ourselves.
right, right, yeah,
We kind of did, but let's face it. We were born against our will. We're gonna die against our will.
yeah, exactly, exactly,
And
yeah,
we weren't happy to be born, and we're not gonna be happy to die. And in the meantime, it's up and down.
that's right, it's up and down.
Yeah, and that's how we created it.
And you
And
can
that's what I was trying to say before. If you can accept that and welcome that, then you can enjoy the ups and downs.
right, exactly,
You can embrace the ups and downs. You can embrace the pain and pleasure, the back and
right,
forth. Because
right,
pain is no longer painful. Because you know what pain really is. It is pleasure.
right. And you can experience it in a different way
Exactly. I mean,
because
tails and heads. Yes, you have tails and heads, but heads you can't have tails without a heads. Literally, it's just another coin.
it's impossible. Yeah,
Exactly. So the same thing with pain and pleasure. It's the same thing, and once you realize that, then nothing can hurt you.
that's right.
When
That's
you
right.
can experience anything, then you're powerful.
That's right.
Nothing, anything, everything, nothing can overtake you. And then the misery can throw misery at you, suffering at you, and it just rolls off your back like a duck.
Yeah, and you can do that intentionally
Yeah,
through through controlling your own mind.
yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So, and I know you do that. I know you work on that. I know I work on that. And you know, it just obviously it takes time and attention to do that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
It's time, attention, and forgiveness.
yeah,
You have to forgive yourself and not just spend most of your time with in the ego. Well, we're always in the ego, but most of the time in level two.
yeah,
As long as you're okay with it, and once in a while you're be at level one. Once in a while you're really in the holy instant. You're having a great wow, and then you're back in the crapper. It's just this life.
yeah.
And once I realize that, then it's kind of like if you know you need water when you're thirsty, but you know like an hour later you go home and get some water, then you're content.
Yes.
You stay thirsty and content. But if you have no idea the water's coming, if there's no maybe there's gonna be water coming, and you're thirsty now, you can't be content
No.
because you don't know if there's water coming. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do see what you're saying. I do see what you're saying. So, but you know, understanding that uh no matter what, no matter if no water ever comes and you die of dehydration or thirst or whatever, you know, what difference does it make to who you are or
Yeah.
who I am? What difference does it really make? It's just another adventure in the story. And, you know, that's the thing, you know, we don't see it that way. We see it as, oh, well, that's a bad thing. But you don't live in the heart of someone who is starving to death or you know, dying of some sort of, you know, you don't know, you know, they might be just as happy as clams. There's people that, that purposely do not eat or drink uh, because they're controlling their mind. And,
Yeah.
you
Well,
know,
that's all those the Bible laws of 600 and some laws in the Bible.
uh-huh,
The Israelites. That's what that was for discipline. Now, that's one of the reasons why. Because
right.
they really learn how to, if you can control your diet, then you can really control a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
Because food's hard to control because it's an addiction. We're all addicted to food, and we have to eat.
right,
We can't, when you're drinking, you should stop drinking. No drinking, no alcohol, or no drugs, no drugs at all. But you can't take no food.
right,
You have to eat. So then it's hard. So I'm an addict. I eat food, and I have to eat. As they're saying, you do the heroin, but you have to do the heroin once a week, every day.
right.
You also have to quit.
Well, you don't have to, because if you don't do it, I mean, it's a choice all the time. It's a
What?
choice all the time. You don't have to.
What do you
You
mean,
could choose
food?
to die. You
You
could
die, yeah.
go through withdrawal. You
Yeah.
could choose any. You don't have to do any
There's
of.
always options.
Yeah, yeah. The only thing, it's what are you trying to trade off for it? What is the other end of it? So if
Exactly.
this end of it is I'm suffering and I'm not happy, then I have to deal with that. But
Yeah.
if it's that,
You're dealing with it anyway.
because I'll tell you, I don't know if you know anybody that has any kind of eating disorder, but I do, and
My daughter.
have at some point in my life had something similar, and come to realize that the idea of controlling whether or not you eat or drink or do certain things can be really can make you feel really good,
Yeah.
to be that in control, to not be and a lot of times, people that have like anorexia or that kind of thing, they there is like a happiness that comes from starving themselves because they know they're in control of themselves, and
Yeah.
it,
It's not control.
and there's a great sense of satisfaction.
Yep. But they're not in control.
Yeah.
I
So,
mean, they're in a certain sense of control, but they're really out of control.
right, but they're in control in the way they want to be in control.
Yeah. But
Oh, if I want to control my weight, I do not want to be fat. And that means something really important to me that I don't want to give up.
well,
Then I'd rather starve.
yeah. Well, yeah, but the thing about it is that if you want to lose weight because you think you're fat, and then go for it. It's your body. Do what you want with your body.
Right,
But if your loved one's doing it and they're doing it in an unhealthy way, if they're purging to do it,
right. Well, yeah,
then or if they're not eating at all, and then they think fat, they're 80 pounds and they still think they're fat.
right.
Then you bum you can bum you out. That's all.
Yeah,
That's all.
and that's up to you too, how you experience that. And if
Yeah.
you're willing to be satisfied with their decision to live their life the way they want to live it.
Yeah.
And that's hard to take, especially if you're a parent,
That's true.
or you have a child in that situation, because you want that child to survive, and you think the only way they're going to survive is if they do this thing, which is eat what that you think is a healthy thing for them. But to them, that survival doesn't mean anything if they don't have control of their body.
Yeah.
They're I mean, that's the most important thing. And so,
Lim, you're in a box suddenly. You sound like you're in a box.
I sound like I'm in a box.
Yeah, you dropped something, and now you're like
Okay, I just realized that the microphone, did I sound pretty good before that?
yeah, that's fine.
Isn't that weird? That's the microphone on my camera. That's why the light is still on is because I have
Now you
that.
sound fine. Now you sound fine.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. All right, I'm switching to a different microphone. Is this better or worse?
Yeah, that's fine. It's good.
Okay, all right. Yeah, all right, good. All right.
Some of you are.
So you want me to read?
Sure, sure. Yeah.
Okay. This is cracking me up because what I did, I'm just trying to get used to this system. So I have a camera, I have a microphone that's a camera and a microphone both combined. And so that's what I'm using for a camera because this computer doesn't have a camera. So I must have put it on for that particular microphone that's hooked to the camera because the light was on with it, and I'm like, I don't think the camera's on, but the light's on. So I put a cover over it so that in case the camera was on, it wouldn't be, you just see that. But when I put that cover on, I
Mhm.
was like, oh, you went into a box. Okay. Now I know something I didn't know before. All right. Okay. So, all right. So we just read this. Whatever you think and hold in consciousness as being so out manifests itself in your body or affairs. Whether you accept this as yet or not, consider for a while the truth that every thought you think, especially those relating in any way to self, hovers around in your mental atmosphere just as a child stays close to its parent. These thoughts being thought about yourself receive the life that maintains them from the feeling that you put into them. In other words, the thoughts themselves are but mental forms, but when you think them with feeling of any kind, you fill these forms with life, and they become as living things which ever return to you, their parent, to be fed with more living power. For all feeling expressed is life, is vital power, and if you only knew it, all the thoughts which persistently influence your mind and harass you are only your mental children clamoring for food and attention and compelling more worrying, anxiety, or fear from you, all of which are excellent food containing rich vital power and which makes them grow rapidly until they become so powerful that in time they dominate your mind so that you can scarcely think of anything else. He just explained this whole thing of how it is that this little thoughts that come into our mind, these little ideas, and I was just thinking about I was talking to my daughter today, and her daughter, my granddaughter, is terrified of spiders. Speaking of spiders, and
Yeah.
she, there was a spider in her room, and she came out of the room and she was all freaked out and upset and everything about it. And they worked. Yeah, they couldn't find the spider, but she finally calmed down. And so just a little while later, they were um, doing something with some artificial flowers, and the base of one of these artificial flowers kind of looked like a spider. And my daughter picked it up and goes, "Oh, look at this! It looks like a spider." And my little granddaughter was like suddenly terrified again. She went
Mhm.
right back into that fearful thought that she had about the spider in her room. And so they had to have a conversation about it because this is what he's talking about here. That when you give these frightening things power, you fill them with life. Their thoughts are but mental forms, but when you think them with feeling of any kind, you fill these forms with life and they become as living things, which ever return to you, their parent, to be fed with more living power. For
You want
all,
to fill with confidence, certainty, faith. They want to fill them with the old fashioned stuff. You know, like, just fill up, and put that out there. Let those be your mental atmosphere. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And then that'll take you to courage. That'll take you to the acceptance, peace, calm. That'll take you to the next. phase,
Yes. Yeah.
whatever that is.
Whatever that is. But we're the ones who make it up, and we're the one that feed it, and we're the one that decide, what it's like that old story that people tell, there's two wolves that live in your a man, one is love and one is fear, and
We
which
feed,
one
feed.
survives? The one you feed. Yeah,
Yeah,
so that's
yeah,
this exactly.
right.
So
Yep. When you feed. Well, we tend to feed the word. Our society is set up for the wolf that for the wolf that's the bad wolf.
yeah.
It's set up that way. Just the only way to really get off the grid is just to get off it mentally.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
in the body will get off mentally also. The body is mental, and so the body will manifest itself in other areas of the world where it can actually surround itself with peace and with for me personally, it's a non engagement outside of this world here and through the arts. But otherwise, I don't go out and march.
Yeah, no, because
I can't walk, but well, I can walk, but I can't march. But when I can walk, I'm not a marching kind of guy. That's not my thing. Um,
well, yeah, because you know that the cause of the problem is not something you can march out.
yeah, for me, I mean, people like doing it. My wife and daughters, they're the one who went down to the Trump thing, and there was a Trump, Trump march against Trump.
The No King's Day thing, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So they wanted to go. So and they said, you and me, they'd be like miles of walking. So I didn't go, but they had a great time.
Oh
So
yeah,
yeah, so there it goes. It was a great time goes. Then I mean, how would it? So it's their thing. It's not my thing.
right.
No, and when it comes to voting, I asked my wife who to vote for. That's what I vote for.
Good. As it should be. As it should be.
And so, it all works out here. It all works out. She's
Oh my
right
God.
down the line. She's right down the line. Democrats right now.
Right down the line. Well, I have to tell you, at my house, um, I do my ballot and I put it out, and then everybody copies it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they all vote for the same. Well, because I'm the one who looks up everything, and
Oh, I see.
what does this bill mean, and what does this mean here?
Mm.
Um, and
Really? Mm.
I pay attention to that stuff, and not
Mm.
because I'm like a political animal or anything, but because I'm curious as to see what people are thinking, and what kind of plans they have for the world.
Yeah.
uh,
It sounds
it's pretty
it sounds,
funny.
sounds important. Sounds a little important.
No, it's not. And that's the thing, because I'm clear that the cause of the problem is not politicians. The cause of the problem is not uh, resources. The cause of the problem is not, I know what the cause of the problem is. And
Mm.
and so, it's easy to see, and just look at, what has been more in alignment with the values that I have of peace and love and harmony, compassion, empathy. What's in alignment with that, and that's what I vote for. So
Mm.
I don't think that it's not spiritual to vote.
Oh,
Uh, I think it's very spiritual to vote because it gives you a chance to look at, what am I thinking? What is going on in this world? And what are the uh what what are the things that are, being, thought about?
it's also a nice time. People wait on the line to vote, and this is a certain sense of oneness.
Yeah.
When you look around, everyone's waiting on the line to vote, and everyone's talking to each other. It's a very light sense of it. There's a certain sense of the sonship. You feel the sonship a little bit.
Oh, yes.
And especially because normally where you live, people are voting for the same person usually.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
you know. So yeah, I mean, I have no problem voting. I vote. I always vote. I just don't. You know, my wife is very involved, and she's much more to the left than she was before Trump took over.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are.
Yeah, she moved too far to the left, man. She's like, all right, you have to really bash me from the left. So yeah, 'cause it's funny when she was younger. Bernie, what's his name?
Bernie
Sanders.
Sanders. Uh-huh.
He came to her school to talk because she's from Vermont.
Wow.
And she was laughing and they were laughing about socialist communists coming to school. Now she's like, oh yeah, he's the man.
Yeah, because you realize that
Yeah,
that is not
yeah.
exactly what he was for at all.
No, no, and then yeah, he only yell. He's only his point across, and he'll yell at Trump. He's just he's got the courage.
Yeah. And he's still out there too. And that's what I really appreciate. I mean, he's been going on like Joe Rogan and, some of these podcasters that are
Yeah,
like, all the bros are all about. Because, I think, for me, I think the big problem that Democrats have done is, and I don't want to get into politics, but just, what they've done is that they have not reached out to the right people with their message and just assume that young people are going to agree with them and whatever. Well, that's not how it works. People have to see, what's in it for me. And unfortunately, someone else can come along and give you a whole line of BS. And if you don't have somebody else, fact checking them, then you're going to end up, you know, getting a felon in the White House.
exactly,
I mean, this is just what happens. It's
exactly.
the natural outcome of that, whatever. So,
Yeah, people basically the he's I have the way I look at it that we tend to be dealing with what we want to deal with on a mental health level. You know, Trump is part of our collective consciousness right now. We get him out there and then we're gonna throw him away.
yeah,
It's not like we're letting him go. You know, we're releasing him.
yep,
You know, you think, hey, you release your feelings, your negative feelings. Well, he's a feeling. He is a negative feeling.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, in my world, he's negative. He's negative feeling. I never look at him and go, "Oh yeah, remember my president."
No, it's hard to do that. Yeah,
No, so he's symbolic of the ego.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
So when I see him, that's how I feel. To put him and it makes sense. It would be because he's the president of a country, of a capitalist country.
Yeah,
So that's what he would be in my dream. If I'm dreaming of this whole scenario,
that's right.
the president would be the ego. I mean, he'd be symbolic of the ego.
Yeah,
You know, and so and that's the political class. I had nothing to do with that.
nope.
You know,
And all we got to do is change our mind about it, and the
yeah.
world itself does change.
Oh,
That's
sure. I swear I had it. The politicians suck.
yeah,
Well, I changed my mind, but I just don't care. You know, get to a certain point where if he's just banning things, like if he's banning uh, vaccines and stuff like that. If he's just doing that, then to the extent that he's just really causing problems and getting the news and getting people all pissed off, you can't help it. He's all over the place. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
But so what?
That's right. And then
So
that's
what?
what you just got to say.
So
It's
what?
first off, I think Holy Spirit has a plan,
Yeah.
and that plan is looking at us.
Have faith in the spirit of God, Spirit of America, and the Spirit of Holy Spirit and Jesus. They're not going to let anything happen in this country so bad. There's no fascism taking over, no MAGA takeover. It's not going to happen.
Yep.
That's my dream. It's not going to happen. My story. I don't. I mean, while I'm here, it's not going to happen. While you're here, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
family is here. It's not going to happen. No MAGA takeover.
Yep, and and we are getting closer. I think honestly, all of this is just to show us so that we can turn things around
Yeah.
and remember the truth about what we are rather than buy into this story
Yeah.
that we're weak and sick.
And where we can say we have to have a person, I mean, look, I mean, once you realize he personifies the ego, then he becomes someone harmless. Because the ego really is harmless. Yeah. Because the ego is just a liar. So he's gonna lie.
Yeah, yeah,
Politicians are gonna lie. So I saw posting the other day, how much money would we lose in 1 hour if everybody stopped lying?
yeah,
It's true.
yeah. That's it.
I mean, when we lose, I mean, politicians are lying the whole time, and he happens to be very good at it.
Yeah, yeah.
But, yeah,
A pro.
but he'll be leaving soon. Most that probably getting sick of him already. He's gone soon.
Yep.
You know,
Oh
and
my gosh.
they'll live peacefully out in somewhere else, and quietly somewhere. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
All right.
We've
Well,
solved the world problems. Now
yeah,
we
we
can
solve all the world's problems. I hate talking about politics. Actually, it's not my thing, really.
I know mine either, but it's just it's you can't help but comment on what seems to be happening in the world, which is
Absolutely. This is all over the place.
I mean there's a lot of stuff and I just see it as all good.
Yeah, yeah. It's,
All good.
how things play out. That's all. It's how things
All
play out.
good.
Yeah. And it's all right, everyone. God bless you all. This is River Wayne Stills from Miracles Everywhere. And thank you, Lynn. What a pleasure. And so far so good. It's pretty cool, the second book.
Yeah,
Watch your thoughts and try not to think negative thoughts, which is not as simple as just saying, well, sad. Negative thoughts is anything that pulls you away from consciousness, from being awake, from going to unconsciousness.
that's
You know,
it.
you know where you are, you close your eyes, you bump into people, so you want to keep your eyes open. All right, so it's all yours, Lynn.
All
Peace.
right, my love. I'll see you
I can't be here tomorrow.
oh, you won't be here tomorrow?
No,
Okay.
but I'm going to New York tomorrow.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
But
Very
but,
good.
but I will be here. I will be here on Thursday. I'm gonna try to bring my students to New York and
Okay.
try to New York. I should be here Thursday.
All right, sounds good. All right. Well, I love you, brother.
Okay,
See
love
you
you too.
later.
See
All
ya.
right.